Oh,
there we go. Hello. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Shadows and Lights. It is Thursday, 13th of July 2023, and it's now approximately 8 o'clock. Not that you want to know any of that, but I thought I'd just say it. Tonight we've got a very special guest, and really looking forward to this interview. And it's Mr. Russ Bevan from Wednesbury Paranormal. Welcome, Russell.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Hi, Annette. Hi, Lynn. Thanks for having me on. Thank you.
you're welcome.
It's like Annette's been talking about you. You know that you've. I mean, I've been watching. You know, I go on every now and again, and I watch and stuff like that. But I've never actually gone out with your group yet. Yeah, there's always time. But Annette said that she's been watching you for a long, long time. I'm quite independent. I just go out and do what I want to do when I want to do it, and that's how it is with me. So, right then. So, tell us a little bit about your group, Russ.
Okay, so I'll start with myself. Really, so 20 plus years ago, I've been in the field, not just the paranormal field, but the full esoteric field for say 20 plus years, and as a curiosity as a young child, really, I was a bit of a strange child in relation to questioning reality, and things just snowballed from there. I studied cryptozoology, ufology, conspiracy theories. I looked at quantum mechanics, quantum theory, and that all that education and grounding then took me down a spiritual route, a spiritualistic route. Who is the creator? Who is the main energy source? Is there a God? Questioning religions. And then all of a sudden that threw me into the paranormal realm. So with all my science-based knowledge and all that grounding, threw me into the paranormal field head first, really. So the two go hand in hand with me, the science aspect, the tech aspect, spiritual aspect, and my thirst for knowledge for history and haunted history in particular. So I'm privileged to go to all these places up and down the country, been abroad and investigated, and I get to absorb this atmosphere, this history, this energy, and I love it, and it beats what I've done in the past, hands down, and I get to meet lovely people from around the UK. I mean, I've got a huge family. I call them my paranormal family. It's got to be in the hundreds now of people I know, and we all get on. Not a bad word. A majority of the people are brilliant in the paranormal field, and that's where I go. I love to go and take guests out, and I love to give them an experience, especially skeptics. Wednesbury Paranormal was formed on the basis of social media, the introduction of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So I needed a name. I needed a name for the team, the group, and I couldn't. I was having a brain fart there where I couldn't think of a particular name. So me and my colleague at the time just based it on where we live, and all these posh companies like haunted, all the haunted companies and etc. They've got all these brilliant names, and our name's crap, but but I like it crap because we get then to have the personal touch with the people who come on board. You throw it into the public domain, and we get everybody at the minute, everybody who's part of Wednesbury Paranormal family or the Para family, paranormal community, are brilliant, and I love every one of them out there. Constantly all day chatting to them, organising events, organising get-togethers, and it's brilliant. And definitely is a lot better than the days when I used to go out on my own and wonder. I've still got that element of me and that curious monkey collecting data, but it's so much more fun with a multitude of skills thrown at work with mediums. We work with some unbelievable mediums, and I mean that tick all the boxes. There's a lot of charlatans out there in relation to mediumship, but the ones we work with are true to heart. We've got so many aspects and genres and skill sets to Wednesbury Paranormal now in the community. It's just another level, and anybody who comes on our events, will know that we are a cut above it. I'm not bragging, not at all. It ain't just all about me and what I know. Everybody throws something into Wednesbury Paranormal, and our events are second to none. And people will come off the street and come in and go, what the hell are we doing here? These big companies, a majority of them, just are looking for the money aspect
That's
of it.
it, yeah.
They've got a business to run, and I totally respect that. They pay wages, people are full-time there. But you lose sight. What is the difference between, it's just a ghost walk for a majority. They've stuck 40, 50 people in, have 1-2 team leads walking around in the dark all night, and you have to watch them. You have to watch their team leads calling out, doing the vigils. You're sitting there like a spare part. And I'll go around the country, and I don't care who's watching it tonight, but I will go to people's events to see if I can improve myself and our team, what they do. And also not judge, because these people are, good at obviously what they do, but to say, can they do it better themselves? And they really need, a lot of them are really, how can I put it, on the high horses. We've been doing it this long, why should we bother, talking to people who studied the field for so long, and the contact and the old ways, the new ways, the pagan ways, Wiccan ways, looking at all the ways to communicate with spirit.
That's it.
Taking that on board, and they don't. They just buy a K2 meter, a REM teddy, a cat ball, and a music box, and then 40, 50 people are just sitting there. But the guests are amazed by it. We, Wednesbury Paranormal, come on our event, we'll break it down into 4 or 5 people in a team. We'll hit on sensory deprivation. We'll hit on Victorian seances. We'll hit on incantations, all mantras that can summon spirit. We'll look at divination techniques. So we'll look at scrying. We'll look at, you've got I don't use it myself, but the team can use a table tip as a Ouija board. So this is all the old stuff, right up to the new stuff where we're looking at ITC, which is instrumental transcommunication methods. That's the EVPs, your spirit boxes, frequency generation, ions in the atmosphere, changing the ions to So negative ions and charged ions in an atmosphere with a frequency and a vibration can make contact and communication easier for the spirit world. And we've proved it time and time again. People come on our events and basically think, what the hell have I just sat through for 6 hours? The 6 hours will go like that. And a lot of them, not all of them, a lot of them, depending on how open you are going home with experiences, especially with the locations that we're contracted or working with. And I'll touch base on where we are, and they're 2 of the most haunted, active locations in the UK, and I'll hit on them shortly. But that's Wednesbury Paranormal. We are one of the best in the UK for sure. I'm not just bragging it. I know there's a lot of companies out there probably disagree, but based on knowledge, based on activity, based on communication, based on respect, based on the family and the guests, all that combined, and plus we're pretty damn hot at refreshments as well. Well, I went on a recce mission the weekend. I won't name the team, the events company, but I wanted £60 a ticket. There was 40 people there. Not, just about knocked up a cup of tea for them. And I mean, there's two leads. There was good leads. Don't get me wrong. But again, there was no participation with the guests. There was no experiences for the guests. They just had to sit there and watch the K2 meter flashing. And also, no biscuits. No.
No biscuits.
No biscuits.
Through that, we got a full buffet, a full finger buffet going. We have pizzas.
Glenn, gotta go to Wales. He's got a pizza.
We're going to have to go down, aren't we, Annette? Yeah.
We spend our profits on the food. So.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. So I'll just give
a few shout outs
to our team members. Have you shared it to our page? It's not on the page.
I think not.
No.
They've got to put the names. They've got to share. They've got to go onto the.
It's not on our page, so I don't know if all the guys wanted to watch, but it don't matter. Yeah, so
No,
just to
no,
say,
it's all right. It should have gone on. I've shared it too.
so I'm just looking at the notes. There's no live feed on there.
I'll find you. I'll sort it out.
Yeah, I wanted to shout out to the team while I'm talking. It's on your page. I'll share it as well. Wednesbury. Paranormal post.
Wednesday Paranormal. Yeah.
Wednesbury.
Wednesbury.
We're not Wednesday Paranormal. Wednesbury, yes. I told you it was a shit name.
I've spelled it right after. It's Miss Beck.
There'll be a few now watch it, yeah. So
has it gone on now?
Yeah, it's on. I just saw it. Yeah, so the team members, so myself, I'm the host and the main lead. I'm the original owner, and then you've got a couple of the senior team leaders. You've got Paul Southey and you've got Neil Mitchell. We've got Dennis Glenn. We also have Joanne Pugh, who's the team's medium. We have Sarah Wood and Catherine as well. So we've got a team of 7. But that is not a fixed number. We hire, we get our friends in. So we've got mediums coming in, guest mediums, Jolene Lockwood, Gary Fields, all good names in the community in the UK.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah, they come and join us quite a lot, quite regular, and you know we say it's just such a healthy community, a really good community. We love everything about it. You know, it's that passion. It's not just a hobby; it's the passion. And
yeah, I think that's what drives people, and
it's like me.
You've not got it shows, doesn't it? Really, like you said about them, you just go and you just watch. You're just doing it for the money. They're not actually putting anything into it. It's
no. See, I've got to love it, and like you, Russ, I've got to love a history, right?
Yeah.
And it oozes out of some buildings. You'll know what I mean, and it draws you, and it's just wanting you to go in there and melt. You need to melt your aura into the whole atmosphere. I've got to suck all that in and just take the whole lot. And I just love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah.
I tell you what, there's nothing like going, me personally and experienced investigators walking into a building that has untapped energy and not being investigated to the hilt. I'm not saying that places like East Drive, etc., are being investigated that much that the energy is just gone, because it's not true. But I mean, there's something to walk into a building that has not been tapped into yet. As you just mentioned, blended auras into the building. Stone Tape 3 is a huge part of what I believe, my belief system. Based in atmospherics, residual playbacks, captured memories into the fabric of the building. Yeah. This is all, in my opinion, and the people probably watching will probably think that that's a load of bollocks, or it's not. Trust me, they're talking about changing the dynamic of a room or a building via FG, so frequency changes of frequency, changes of vibration, changes of ions in the atmosphere, negative. You can change so much in that building and replicate the atmospherics and the energy for this stone tape, or the media, the recorded media of this playback, for it to come forward. And that is a lot of my research in relation to energy fields, energy manipulation and changes. Playback can happen, and that is, in my own opinion, a lot to do with hauntings of buildings. A lot of it is a big percentage of residual playback.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Totally agree.
Can I say to people?
It's all about your energies, about what's coming through to you, and as you're picking it up, and just work with it. Just work with what they're giving you, basically.
Yeah.
I'm very old.
Can I say to people in the chat, I can't say who your names are, because if you don't, this is a bit like StreamYard. If you don't give permission, your names doesn't come up. So all we're getting on it is Facebook user. But if you want, you can put your name underneath, and then we'll know who you are and we can give you the shout out.
Yeah, I mean, in relation to mediumships, sensitive skills, I know, you know, I'm partly sensitive, I'm part medium, and I'm still developing that. And I say the people who work with me are passing that knowledge base on. And you know, to be honest, I was never a big believer in it to start with. But the more, as I say, some of you guys, the more you go on, the more you experience, the more that barricade, that field, the more you open up. And in the early days of me opening up, it used to scare the hell. Nothing scares me. I've been through so much that nothing scares me in relation to paranormal. It doesn't matter if it's dark or not. What scares me is when my mind and my mental health is affected by the visualizations, the trauma, that is something I can't cope with, because I do take it home, and I have suffered with my mental health from it. I did hit on it in pre-chat about the darker stuff that I was researching. I had to bail on it. I mean, some of the things that you can research if you read, and you know, this is another bugbear in the community. It's, you know, not people who are listening this evening, because hopefully everybody here this evening, you know, been on our events and know how serious we take them. Yeah, I prat about, my team prats about during breaks, and I mean, off vigils, we're nutcases. But during vigils, I'm so passionate and so aware and protected and serious. You know, I won't break a smile. But because of the fact that I know that my own mental health suffered, from an incident at Draco tunnels. I don't know if you heard of Draco before it was shut down.
Yeah,
Draco tunnels.
I've heard people talk about them. Yeah.
So basically, this is the start of my own mental health issues. Was underneath the pagan cemetery there, and it was, for some reason they gave it the cheesy name the Demon Tunnel, but it is buried underneath the pagan cemetery, a mound. And we was in there one day. We used to have a team member who was really into his demonology and dark materials, and he used to have a skill of bringing the darkness forward. Well, me being an empath and purveyor of light,
I am. Yeah,
thought that I could dampen what it brought forward with my own spiritual energy, and I went walking down the tunnel where this negative was low vibrational, was summoned, if you want to use that as a word. This energy, anyway, it was a dark fielded energy. We use the word energies. I walked into it like an idiot and brought it back out the tunnel with me. One of my colleagues, Neil, who works with me in the team, he took a lot of the brunt, and he was having a choking fit. And I tried to take that back off him, and it didn't work. And from that moment, for a good 2.5 years, I was having night terrors, mental health issues, and it is so bloody dangerous. I found it so hard to get rid of. If you want to use the term attachment, I don't like using attachments and walking, because it is an energy that is absorbed into your aura, as you mentioned. And I had such a hard time getting shot of it. And I mean, anybody who's into, I'll do it now, I'll have my rant now. Anybody who's into the paranormal or starting the paranormal, I just need you to be seriously aware of the dangers of doing it, and doing it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Doing it respectfully, making sure you're in the correct mindset, making sure that you understand the warning signs of what you're dealing with. Now, again, I believe it's energies. I've hit on energy. There's good energy, there's bad energy. This energy field that's around us, it's got an intelligence. This intelligence can communicate. This intelligence can mimic your loved ones, mimic what you want.
Yes.
It can mimic what's in your subconscious. Now, subconscious plays a huge part in the paranormal. Your subconscious mind, our collective subconscious mind as a group. So if you when you're ghost hunting, if there's 6 or 7 of you in a ghost hunt or investigation, I hate the word ghost hunt, your cumulative subconscious can project the spirit that you want to communicate with. So, for example, this is proven with an experiment called the Phillips experiment, where people got together, they sat there with a notebook, they come up with a name of the spirit that haunted the room, they came up with an age, form of death, where he lived, who was married to. They created this character, even drew him. And what they did over a number of sessions, vigils, over a month, was calling out for this guy, this gentleman, this character named Philip. And they used to say, Philip, please answer our questions, yes or no. It was very quiet to start with over the first few vigils, but the subconscious mind of the team projected this spirit. And Philip started answering questions, started rapping. Back then it was a tap, twice for yes, once for no. He would blow candles out, he would affect the temperature in the room. But this was all designed from a subconscious thought and an idea. Now, was it Philip that they created, or was it a mimic, a spirit, an energy, recording that information they projected for the intelligence to interact? I am no certain. I am 100% sure that this is what's happening. We are surrounded by an earth field, an earth energy, universal energy. Our subconscious is mixed in with this energy. We're receivers for this energy. If you've ever researched Tesla and who Nikola Tesla was, Nikola Tesla believed massively in this, that we are receptors. That's all we are. There is a mass energy somewhere in the universe, in the center of the universe, and it's sending out a signal across the universe, and we are just receiving this signal. And we're surrounded by this energy.
Absolutely.
We can only see a set spectrum of light. Our biological state can only see this small spectrum of light and colours. There is an endless amount of spectrum. You know, you've got the infrared, you've got ultraviolet, you've got all this that we cannot see. What can't we see? Ask yourself that question. What is it we cannot see? We cannot see everything. Can't possibly do it. What's going on behind us now? There's a paradox. You're looking into a box, something inside that box with the lid down. Well, you know what it is, but when the lid of the box is down, is it actually in there? This is the paradox. This is the simulation that we could be part of, going back to Tesla's theory in relation to we being a receiver. I mean, these are the rabbit holes I've been down, and I mean, this is what's screwed in my head a bit, you know, in relation to theories, trying to find the correct theory. But the more I put my mind to it, the more I think this energy field can be manipulated for anything. I mean, spiritual people send out their messages to the universe, don't they? They have the wish board, they try and put the wishes. All they're doing is trying to change their energy field around them for the universal energy to come back to grant them the wishes. So this is what we're doing as paranormal investigators. We're changing the energy or talking to the energy around us to communicate with. And it's intelligent, definitely intelligent.
Oh yeah.
So So you can only see, you can only hear a set bandwidth, a set frequency.
It's true.
So what the hell else is going on around us? And then this is my quantum mechanics education or knowledge as well. I mean, the multi-dimensions, you believe in the 11 dimensions in string theory. These intertwined dimensions, we're so close and parallel to 11 versions of ourselves in 11 dimensions. And these overlap from time to time as well. And this is where in my opinion, where these portals, these rips in time, rips in dimensions for energies to cross. This is what can happen. And I'm not saying that all of these dimensions we deal with are all purveyors of light. There can be some darker energies pass through. So, I mean, it's so mind-boggling and complex. All I can do is put my ideas and thought processes across. Everybody, yourself, there, Lynn, yourself, Annette, we'll all have our own theory. We would have all had our own experiences, no doubt. I think every person on the planet has had a paranormal experience, even all the skeptics out there, the severe skeptic. There's a guy online now, and he's doing my absolute nutting at the minute. I'm not going to say his name, but every time I look online, his face is there. Go, paranormal investigators are all wankers, blah, blah, blah. Keep sending me your money. I'm doing this documentary. I'm part of the Paranormal Society, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, we appreciate your opinion. But he's got no time to appreciate our opinion. And people like myself have studied it 20 years plus. As you can tell from me ranting on, I'm passionate about what I believe, and everybody should have that right to believe.
Should have passionate for something, shouldn't they?
Yeah, everybody's got their right to believe, and
exactly. You've got your experiences. I've got mine, and Net's got hers, and it's personal to each person.
Definitely, exactly. I will not. I don't put any evidence we capture out there because there's always somebody out there to say, I understand. Back in the day, back 20 odd years ago, I'd been looking at dust particles on an aged Sony Handycam and thinking, oh my God, my granddad's come back to see me. Yeah, I fell for that. And I had to learn that not everything's paranormal, every knock, squeak and bang. But I'm at the other extreme now. I can hear voices, I can see things, and I'm there just going, oh, well. It's just the energy around in the building where all the rest of the team are, run off, or the guests, have run off and don't want to come back in the building. So
exactly. So why are you running off? But you've come here for that. Just sit down and go with the flow.
So I purposely don't put anything online. I've got an archive of things I've called DVPs, which is a direct voice phenomenon. For some reason, I get a lot of them. I can hear voices, Claire audio, and Claire, and I can just hear things a lot. And so I hear children quite a lot for some reason. In relation to my sensitive skills, I'm a male mediumship skills. You can put me in a room, and I will not pick jack all up in that particular environment until somebody comes from the guests or somebody, personal to me or something, or can stand by me. And then straight away, the floodgates open, and I'm picking up on the person I'm stood next to. Yeah. And it happened Saturday when I was out at St John's in Warwick. Some guy is totally skeptical and sat next to me, and I was telling me about his dead granddad who died, from some stroke, and he used to be in the Navy. And he went away. He's still a skeptic, but he's going, what happened there? But I'm useless at picking up spirits within the room unless I've got my equipment. But people like you guys, if you was with me now, I'd probably pick up. So everybody's different. Everybody's got, my point is, everybody's got that skill. Skeptical or not, everybody can open up. Everybody can open their auras up. Everybody can open their crown.
Yeah, they can.
And everybody can pick up. And now that's part of a Wednesbury Paranormal night. Not one of these other nights that people are paying hundreds of pounds to go on and sit there and being bored to death.
Yeah.
Come on a Wednesday night and pick up the spiritual training. Come and sit in a group of 4 or 5 people, and we'll either meditate, we'll open up your chakra, your crown, your third eye, we'll open up your aura, just to try and get this sense of awareness of spirit within the location. Experience it, then we'll shut you back down at the end if you're not.
Yeah, I think that's very important. I think that's extremely important. I do it on a Wednesday night, every Wednesday night.
Circle.
Circle. I've got a circle, and I do it on a Wednesday night, and I've been going there for 7 years with these particular people. Amazing, absolutely. It's like family now. Absolutely fantastic. I believe in meditation. It takes you to so many levels of good stuff, and it's because you're still aware of your surroundings, but it's a safe place. I feel that's a safe place for me.
And your own mind can be cleansed. Your own soul can be cleansed. Soul retrieval meditation, mental healing. I mean, it's so good for anxiety. It's so good for depression. I mean, just escape into your own mind, into your own thought process, your own subconscious. I mean, this needs to be taught in schools, if you ask my opinion. Spirituality. Let's not concentrate on Christianity, Catholicism. Let's not concentrate on Islam, and let's concentrate on spiritualism as a generalized subject. So let's talk about your mental health, your soul, your conscious, your own spiritual journey. You know, people are clever enough out there to make their own opinions if they believe in a deity or a god, whatever. But the key to it is, how healthy do you feel?
How it makes you feel. It's about you.
Exactly.
Definitely. And I mean, there's so much can come from spiritualism. And I'll just say, everybody, like you just said, Lee, get yourself on a circle. It turns you from how can I put, a negative person, a negative soul, or you'll suddenly, everything, your guards will drop, and you'll become one. I sound very hippie here, and one consciousness with the group, with the circle. And especially if you're doing meditations, and as you say, you're doing. Even if you're just doing psychometry, you know, if you're doing looking at objects and holding objects and trying to pick up on the history of that object, the energies of that object, just things like that. So
I love objects. I love it. Yeah. Talking about hippie, do you know? It's funny you should say. That's why I laughed, right? Because on this course yesterday, it's dead funny, and the tutor actually said to one of the people. They asked him a question. He said, "Ask the hippie."
I'll tell you what, I wish I was a hippie. I had the life.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not a hippie though, but yeah, I mean, they understand it all. And, they're just cool. I mean, hippies are cool, and I'd love to be one. Really would. I think I was one in the past life, definitely for sure.
Yeah.
But just going back to the dangers of ghost hunting, what you do. I mean, if anybody's new to the game tonight and want to go and do it, I mean, there's so many teams that are just watch Zach Bagans or Moist Haunted on ITV, whatever shit it is, and then suddenly go, okay, I'm going to go and buy a litter ball from the pet shop, and I'm going to get a teddy bear, and then I'm going to walk into a house there's a child in there who's been affected by a negative and got mental issues, and there's a negative energy in the family. And I've known it, I've seen it, and it really boils my piss. Excuse the pun. I get so angry. These teams set up online. Oh God, that's what we're going to call ourselves: dickhead ghost hunters or teddy bear ghost hunters. And then they'll go and do an house cleanse or spiritual cleanse and go and talk to a child who's been affected mentally by a negative energy, and then they'll throw a fucking teddy bear on the bed and start calling out, "If you're here, can you press the teddy bear's belly, please?" Well, how's that helping the child? How is it helping the child? Yeah, it might be getting you 20,000 likes on fucking TikTok and. It might get you fucking £3.50 in your bank account, but that poor kid who's getting abused, scratched, having no terrors, his mum's getting worked up, his mum's on antidepressants, and them doing absolutely jack shit to help the situation. Yeah. So obviously, just differentiate. I have no. If you want to go out with your teddy bears and your litter tray, cat ball, whatever you want to do, go and do it. Don't go to a family that has got an issue. You need.
No, it's not right, is it? It's crackers.
I hate to watch people investigating a house that has an issue. Do not antagonise. Do not create. Do not investigate. It's already there. You need to cleanse. You need to lecture. You need to talk. You need to confide in the people that are there. You need to tell them that they're going to be okay and put the safety parameters in for them spiritually, and then remove correctly yourselves, correct process, a correct procedure. I'm watching people at the moment on these TV programs. Again, the people involved in TV programs I have massive respect for, but they're under pressure to perform, and they're going into houses with a singing bowl. Yeah, fair enough. Sound frequency cleansing works for sure. But I'm just there, took a bit of sage at the core, and it's gone. It's not gone. There needs to be aftercare. Now, I'm not sure about this program. I've never been involved in a TV program, but it would help that there was aftercare for the families involved later on. And they do, and then they keep an eye and monitor the situation. That is the correct process. Make sure everything's okay and cleansed. And in my own experience, 9 out of 10 times I come back, it is only a diluting of the energy. The energy remains all the time. The energy, if the energy is attracted to somewhere, it doesn't matter how much. Doesn't matter how much sage you throw at it. All you're doing is dilating. Dilating is, I don't know the word. I don't know anyway. Diluting it.
Diluting. Yeah.
It will come back, and I hate to shit on people's chips here. It does. Time and time again, I see it all the time, and I'm not saying it comes back with a vengeance, stronger, but that's because of your intention. Your intention, if you want it to come back stronger, it will come back. This is where the training is. This is where you have to get some mindset right.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
You can conjure, you can manifest spirit into your own home.
You can.
With your,
I think this is where poltergeists and teenagers come into it.
Yeah. So that's obviously angry spirits elsewhere. But my point is going back to subconscious and manifestation and your intention.
Yeah,
I used to go. I went on a case once, and there was a woman who had a grainy, cheap, off-wish CCTV system in a child bedroom. And I mean, it was utter shit. I mean, it probably cost her £5 off a market. So every time you switch it on, first thing you see is dust particles floating around. And this woman, I shit you not, was there 20 hours a day watching her son in his cot, dust floating around him. And she was calling every team under the sun, every spiritualist. And obviously, 80% of spirit and mediums out there just want money. Tenner, give me some money, I'll get rid of it, give me some money.
So she left herself open, really, didn't she? She left herself open,
Exactly. She was creating her own issues, and obviously,
totally.
They're going to milk it. She got fleeced hundreds of pounds, and all it was switch your fucking CCTV off. You don't need that on, and that was it. But she was obsessed. She was obsessed with watching it, and every now and again, she'd get a bit of fabric off the curtain floating past, so it would look very spectral, a partial manifestation. It's a manifestation. And then you go, no, it's not. A bit of fabric in light from the CCTV is causing this diffraction, this illumination of this fabric. And this is 95, 96% of the paranormal and debunking it. I'm going to talk about now the other 4 or 5% that cannot be explained. So, creepy story for you here. So, going back to a child in his cot, I was called to a house once, and again, young child sleeping. This woman was as sane as anybody I know. She was like, wow, she used to sit there all night, put the child to bed, read books. She'd be reading, wouldn't have the telly on. She would read while the child was asleep until bedtime. Single mother. Where she was, her house was an end-terraced house that was situated by a ley line. So you all heard of a ley lines, energy grids.
Oh, yeah.
And a stream. Now, streams, water near houses. Water is a huge spiritual conductor.
It
I mean,
certainly is, yeah.
yeah. So you think of flowing energy, flowing water. So it's flowing. So you have a constant stream, if you believe in it, it's in the spirit, through this water. So it's a
You know
constant.
what? I'm getting it in my hands just thinking about that now. The energy's coming through my
Yeah,
hands.
flowing through. So throw into that ley line. Every time as well, the commonality. Every time I go on a private cleanse, a spirit rescue, I like to call them, it always seems to be in that environment, water close. I always go, is there water? 9 out of 10 times, yeah, the stream. And then I'll look at the ley lines myself, so energy grid systems, etc. So anyway, go back to the story. She used to read lots and lots of reading, so she'd be looking at, she had a good collection of antique old books, so, Shakespeare, really, clever books. I couldn't read them. But she was doing it, and then eventually one day she was getting knocks, getting bangs. So she put them down just to the house, settling like you do, like any reasonable person would. The pipes, the central heating, the water pipes, outside influences, cars driving past, etc. And then one day she got a smell, and it was again a cliched smell, I know, of lavender. Lavender seems to be a popular fragrance to smell. And automatically you think old lady, etc.
Yeah,
Lavender bottle, blah blah blah. But this smell got stronger and stronger as the week progressed. So she got quite a bit concerned. Still didn't call in teams and think it was anything paranormal. But then a child started waking up in terrors and night terrors, and it was totally unlike a child. She did a bit of research on the house and the land prior, and say she switched on lady, and there was an old lady, a spinster, that used to live in that house, and she passed in that house. And hopefully I'll scare you now, but one night she went up there, kid was in terror, she got fed up, and she said, "Look, leave the child alone." I don't know what came over her to say that. She walked into it, and again, subconscious, residual, whatever you want to say, her aura blended into the room, the environment, the energy. And she said, "Please leave my child alone." At that instant, when she told me, and said that the back of the cot, like, went dark. Like that. So she started panicking. She didn't think about the child, but it started rising up at the end of the cot, this dark shadow. And then it formed into this old spinster lady, was there. And she said she could say her features were faceless. And I believe everything she said because she's got no reason to lie to me. In her hands, you could see a fingernail holding the cot. And she was that scared, she forgot about the child. And she ultimately listened to me. But she said it was over within 3 or 4 seconds, but to her it seemed like an eternity.
I'll tell you what, Russ.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you a story, and I can totally 120%. I understand what you're saying. My youngest child, a little girl, so when she was 3 months old, I had her in the cot. So my bed was here, and the cot was there.
Can we do some shout outs?
Yeah, go on. Before I tell the story.
To everyone in the chat, we've got Ben and Lou from the other dimension, and Craig and Gemma from the Haunted Museum Stoke.
Hi guys.
So Ben Winfield and Lou Winfield are demonologists.
Yeah.
As I said,
Lovely to see you.
They're the people you need to call in if you've got anything dark going on.
Yes.
These two are professional.
Yes.
Craig and Gemma are, they own the most haunted museum on the planet.
That's going to be my next question.
Zach Bacon's off. This place is on another level. What they have done to this museum. Anybody who puts work and soul into their location are good enough for me. There are some good museums around in the UK, but what Gemma and Craig have done to the one in Stoke is, I won't put my hat on anything, but this truly resounding. 600 plus artifacts, all with a macabre history, all validated, or authentication of these artifacts is secondary. No, they're not just been antique shopping. They have scoured the globe for these things. They all have stories and fables associated with it. And one thing they have created is something uniquely dark at the museum.
Yeah.
It is, if you like your dark investigation, you go there. There is nothing light. There is nothing good about it. I mean, there's one room that they have to keep open for cleansing, spiritual cleansing, because it is that intense in that museum.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been lucky enough to hold events there for Wednesbury Paranormal there for, I think we're about 6 events there. And every time people have had something happen. Not nice things either. I mean, they're getting growls, they're getting scratches, demonic voices, they're getting they're taking things home and they're not sleeping correctly. And as I said, it is dangerous. It's a dangerous game, paranormal investigation, if you don't know what you're doing. And we're lucky.
Yeah, keep away. Keep away.
Ben and Lou and myself and my team who know how to handle situations. And it is, I mean, there's one particular area in the museum, I won't spoil it for anybody, get yourself booked in on one of our nights, on one of Craig and Gemma's nights, and it is the chapel area. Now, there's an area just outside the back of the chapel. It's a confessional booth, curtain. Right outside the confessional booth, they've done a pentagram, a protected one. But we put people in that pentagram, blindfold them and sit them there because it is the playing area of 2 deceased children who were murdered by their mother who went insane. So we purposely put people in a blindfold in the pentagram where they play. We got footage of a 24-stone man being kicked in the chest spiritually and in passing out and rolling on the floor in agony. And I worked with this guy and he said, I'm never going on another investigation with you again. He still has nightmares about it. Now, again, going back to the mental mindset, can you handle it? You know, once something like that happens to you, you've got to carry around that baggage still.
You'll be carrying it with you, yeah. So a big shout out to the Haunted Museum and Spirit Shop in
man.
Big shout out.
And Ben and Lou, check out the other dimension.
Yeah, Ben and Lou. Watch them often. Amazing.
Really good. I say Ben goes on Help My House Haunted quite a lot. He gets interviewed on there because he has a unique set of skills.
Yeah.
Only in the UK, he is top level at his game on it. So.
That's good. That's very good. Right, so going back to this old woman.
Oh yeah, okay.
With the child's cot, right? So I was saying I've got a 3-month-old baby girl. In the cot next to my bed, gap between us. I could feel something in the bedroom. I was on my own in the room. I could feel something in there. It woke me up. In fact, I had to sit up because I couldn't believe what I was watching. An old woman, a little old woman, walked from the side of my wardrobe. It was an old wardrobe. I shouldn't have really had that. It was handed down a few times. She came out of that. I looked at her. She had a long skirt on, right? And she had like a big Welsh shawl over her, but it was grey, like a grey-brown shawl over her head. And she looked at me. She was only small. I looked at her and she walked down to the cot. She leant over the cot. When she went to pick the baby up, I jumped out of bed. She scurried away back to where she come from. I picked the baby up and she stayed with me all night in the bed. I don't do babies in a bed. Never done it. Won't have it. But by God, she stayed with me that night. That woman, my daughter's now 38, right? Now, she has followed my daughter all her life. But whenever my daughter's been in trouble, that woman has got her out of trouble and stopped her from harm. Honest to God.
I'm a massive, again, I am a skeptical believer, but again, going to spirit guides and going to, if you want to call them angels, yes, we all have them. They all follow us around. Going back to this spiritual, subconscious aspect, they are there. They are there for us. I'm no doubt, and they don't have to be your immediate family members or friends. They can be allotted to you somehow. I don't know what the choice is, but yeah,
No, I don't know
they
that.
can be with you for life, and it's such a common occurrence. I mean, I was talking to a skeptic one day, and I was saying, well, have you actually had anything that in your life happen that you can't explain? And a lot of skeptics will say yes, but they don't put it down to paranormal, which is fair enough. But they're not. How can I put it? They're not forsaking it spiritual. They're not denying it spiritual.
No.
And so a lot of skeptics do believe in spirituality because of obviously their religions that they're following, and they are open to spirit guides and spirit energies and entities being with them. So my argument is that is crossing the line into a paranormal belief system, because we do kind of classify it as that, especially when they're manifesting themselves, like what's happened to your daughter.
Yeah.
It's an interesting subject. It's a very, very common. This old lady, this old protector. I've heard stories of old hags.
Yeah.
The old hag story will come and visit you in your sleep and sit on your chest and make you sleep paralysis. Now, fair enough. A lot of that could be conscious mind still turning over and awakening. But people are getting a lot of visualizations of an old hag sitting on their chest, and what cats do, take breaths out of them. And
they do. Yeah, they say don't put the cat by the baby.
Yeah.
Breath away. Yeah.
I put it down to a mixture of tequila and spliff. But no, seriously, it's an urban legend with some serious statistics behind it. And if anybody out there's
actually, I've been reading a book about that. Yeah, the old hag.
Yeah, it's very common, and it's very, very scary.
Yeah.
People who suffer with sleep paralysis coming round in that type of state, especially from dream state or REM sleep.
Oh, I've had that. I've had that myself.
Yeah. I've never had it. Is it really
horrifying? It is. Yeah, it's something else. But I didn't. It wasn't an old hag in my case. It was no hag. Yeah. It was like, with 3 people that stood at the end of the bed, and they were all dressed in black. There was 2 women and a man, but the women had all these black feathery hats on, and they were just stood there. They were just stood there looking at me. Oh, I tell you what, when I could move, I've never moved that quick in my life. It's like, that was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying.
It's like a case that we was asked to do in Wolverhampton, close to us, and this Polish guy who was living in his house, he just moved over and he was doing work. He was getting, you've all heard of the shadow beings, shadow men, etc. He was getting a serious case of the hat man, the main hat man who gets seen a lot.
Hat man.
But this hat man, the way he explained it to me, the way I describe that man is just a shadow with his top hat or whatever. But he said this one had glowing white eyes, which I found quite weird, because you don't normally get the eye situation with the shadow beings, and that got me onto who they are, etc. And that, if you ever research shadow beings and their origins, it is a very interesting thesis to study, because they can be multidimensional, they can be lower vibrational, and they can seriously affect the livelihoods of the families involved, because they're not all what they're low vibration. Yeah, they've not got good intentions. So if you see shadow beings, then you perhaps need help if you can't handle them, because they have got negative vibrations.
Well, you're right, because I've seen I'd say I've seen about maybe 6 altogether, but in one particular house, on the Wirral actually, me and my sister, who's no longer with us, we got asked to go over, and I'd made this like a tick list. So if I got asked to go to somebody's house, I'd tick the list off to see if, and I was very clever the way I'd done it. So with this tick list, you could ask them questions and it could cross-question them without them realising they've been cross-questioned. So you could tell if they're making it up. Do you know what I mean? It was a bit like that. Yeah. So we done it and it was all okay. And she had 2 small kids who weren't there that night. Her ex-partner had died in Afghanistan. And she was thinking it was that, but she said there's something bad going in the house. Now, when we went to the front door, on the left was the living room. The living room door was against the wall on an angle, right? Because somebody, she said, kept throwing the door off. We didn't quite believe her because we never seen anything. But you could feel energies in the house. Anyway, she went in the kitchen. We could see the kitchen from where we were. She went in the kitchen to make us a cup of tea. There's nobody else in the house. All of a sudden, the door started rattling. And we looked, and 3 shadow people came from behind, and they flew over the ceiling. I was up, and I chased them. I chased them to the other side of the room, and they went behind like a sofa on the other side, you know, behind it. But gone. And my sister said, "Did you see it?" I said, "Yeah, I did." Now I was buzzing now, tingling with excitement because I believed everything she said. So we looked into where she was, and it's an old. The houses was built many years ago on an old army camp. She thought it was her ex who died and come to haunt her. It wasn't. There was 3 beings. That's all I'm saying. They are beings. But also, I came to find out that there was some kind of there was a UFO seen in that area. I didn't know anything about this, but it came to light, and I don't know whether these energy lines are crossing, some kind of entity coming through. Do you know what I mean? But that was
hit on the multi-dimensional beings in relation to quantum theory, quantum mechanics,
theory,
11 dimensions, whatever you want to call it, portals being open, portals being ripped open, timelines, they can cross. Now, a theory again, I don't know if people want to believe it or not, but I do seriously think that ETs, UFOs, cryptos, spirit energies, they are all linked. They are all linked to this earth grid, this earth energy that we're all part of. We're all linked with this, even the universal energy, this receiver system that Tesla mentioned, from an unknown source, an unknown database in the universe that we're getting. I mean, we're all linked. And these energies you can't see, these energies you can't hear because they're not on our periphery, not in our spectrums. This is what shadow beings can be. And I really do think ufology, ETs are all linked. And I'm not going to go too deep because there's another one, but I do believe that they are integral to hauntings of buildings. I mean, they're there. You know, sometimes you're not talking to spirit. You can be talking to multi-dimensional
beings. Absolutely. I went to a gong bath. Never been to one. This was maybe 8-9 years ago now. Didn't know what it was. A friend put me onto it, so I went along. Took me little pillow, me quilt to say that I went along. 3 hours it was, this session. Didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I'd gone out under. I just went. Then these energies come, and as I looked to my side, there was 3 little people next to me. So I've got my head up, looking to see if anybody else is looking who can see these 3 little people here. Oh, and I closed my eyes. It frightened me, right? Really frightened. And I went deeper. I went deeper. And the next thing, I was outside. It was on the docks on the D, because that's where I live. And as I walked along the back of this building, it was grey fog. This is in my meditation. It was grey fog. And as I looked over the dock, there was a Viking ship.
Yeah.
Next to that, there was a big sail ship. And there was 4 extremely tall greys. Massive.
Yeah.
No faces. And I could feel myself getting drawn over there. So I backed off. And then I opened my eyes and I was back in the room. But they were stood at the bottom of the room. They looked at me. They had no faces, or I never seen eyes or anything. Extremely tall, and they looked over and they were like that. Oh, and I shut my eyes. And then the next thing, the lady stopped this gong bath. 3 hours had passed. It felt like half an hour. She asked everybody in the room how they enjoyed it. They were all like middle class uni students, you know. And it was very interesting. It was lovely. It was so relaxed. It was absolutely
Guys,
And I was the last person. And they said, well, how did you get on this? I'm not telling you. Oh, go on. Tell us tell how you felt. So, well, actually, I'm going to tell you, you're not going to like it. And I told them what happened. The girl next to me, who I didn't know, she said, I seen them 3 little people next to you. Right? I said to this woman about these, I told them everything. They were scared to death. I said to the old lady who was actually doing the gong bath, I said, they gave me 3 names, these 4 tall greys. They gave me 3 names. One was George, one was Philip, and one was Andrew. The old lady said, I never thought I'd hear that. She said, George was my father's name. Philip was a son, and Andrew was her husband, and they'd all died. And I got clued in, and I still can't explain why I seen that. Can't explain it.
Yeah. So subconsciously, you're manifesting visualization for the spirit communication you've got. So obviously, you're manifesting something. I know that your partner, next to you, saw the same. But obviously, with your mediumship skills, you've got this now, and then a visualization from your subconscious created this image.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's so intriguing. Gong baths, sound energies, manipulations, it is so powerful. I mean, people, I always, when I go on investigation, I've done my recce with all these big teams. The first thing I look for is what they do they manipulate sound? So are they using, you've all heard of the Estes method, aren't you? You know, have you heard of the Estes method? It's sound frequencies being channeled, white noise, etc. And spirit can use the frequencies to communicate, going through the sweep radio system. So, but again, that is one of the ones that I can't deny, because the resounding evidence that people will get. We use it 3-4-fold, where we put 3 people into this circuit, and the information that comes back because of the joint subconscious, the 3 of them together, we call it the Trinity. They tend to answer questions, and they tend to visualize the same things as well, because again, we're uniting and consolidating this earth energy, the 3 of them, the conscious, and it works. So any team out there that are not doing it, especially events teams, they should be top of the game, because this is one of the, in my opinion, one of the proven methods of communication.
Yeah,
because it's amazing. On sound is, we're all vibrational, we're all frequency.
Yeah.
So sound is going to resonate with your own frequency if you hit a certain vibrational octave. And that's going to bring all this connection, all this spiritual connection to the front.
Yeah.
Going back to another method that I want to try, I haven't had the balls to do it yet, but it's taking DMT and ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is the plant drug from Brazil. A lot of the prophets, or modern day prophets, you want to say, philosophers, are taking these. Graham Hancock, who writ Gods of the New Millennium and etc., historian and big believer in ancient alien technologies and history. We've been here before, was created by aliens. Aliens changed our DNA so we could be subservient.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
We started off Neanderthal or apoid. They changed our DNA so we could be subservient to the aliens. And this is what I believe in myself.
I do totally agree.
And it's not changed. It's not changed at all. I still believe that the 1%, the wealthy, etc., Rothschilds, they all have, and the royal family even, being controversial, have this bloodline of this alien DNA manipulators. And we're just still the slaves, given the illusion that we're free. And I don't think that has ever changed at all.
No, I think you're right. They've always been there. Always.
They've always been there. So aliens live amongst us. 100% sure the aliens live amongst us. They're the
I wouldn't be frightened. I came across them on that gong bath.
Yeah.
I mean, it frightened me when I first seen it, but I'm not frightened now. I'm not frightened. I feel like if one came in here now, I'd welcome them.
Yeah. But going back to the BMT trip and ayahuasca, so Graham Hancock, again, who believed in it, I do, he takes it. And he takes it to go and see these because it breaks the veil, and you go to see these beings. You see them all on this plane, all these variations of multidimensional beings appear, and you can actually chat and converse with them on this trip. And I would love to do it, but I just haven't got the gonads to do it yet. So
no, it's not my idea.
Trust me, all the top professors, all the top preachers of high intellect are doing it all the time to cross that divide into another realm.
Yeah.
So sound baths, gone baths, DMT, all this needs to be brought into the research of the esoteric, paranormal, whatever you want to call it, the field of research.
Yeah.
Again, people out there, hundreds and hundreds of teams that haven't got the first clue about this type of tech, this type of knowledge, sacred knowledge. Going back millennia, the pagans, because they brought so much of this realm, these scriptures to the front, and people don't even read them. I mean, grimoires, French grimoires, witchcraft, magic, etc., documented from centuries ago, sigils, all this forbidden, taboo knowledge is there in the public domain. The people only watch a TV program and see a ball in a litter tray lighting up, or a teddy bear, and then suddenly, I can do that. I'm a professional ghost hunter. Where's that term come from? Half of these people couldn't even lace Harry Price's bloody left shoe, let alone do what he did. But there's so much they don't even do base tests. They'll go into a premises. They won't even take a standard milligauss reading in each room. They won't do base tests. They won't look at temperature fluctuation. They won't look at hot spots or cold spots to where they're going to. They won't even look at the history of the building they're at. I've seen them just walking around with a shitty K2 meter they bought off Wish, and they've gone past a broadband router and it's flashed red. And next thing you know, Dave, film this, look, it's going red. And then it's on TikTok, and then there's 2 million views, and they're getting paid £3.50 or whatever it is for doing it. I mean, no wonder there's so many cynics, skeptics out there watching this utter shit. And it is utter shit. And us true investigators who research and get the knowledge, You know, like people like Ben and Craig and who've been on here tonight watching me. These and myself get a bad name and get tarnished with the same brush of these people and using teddy bears. And really, sorry to swear, fucked me off big time. I mean, massively, because I can't tell you how many hours and late nights I've had. You know, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, going down rabbit holes, and luckily now I'm bringing it to the public domain for people to understand the correct aspect of it. You know, I don't know everything. Yeah. It's a pseudoscience at the end of the day, so I'm probably wrong. All I'm doing is offering my theories, but at least I've had the time and notion to research my own theories and experience. And these teams are popping up, so many everywhere. I'm watching them now, and I mean, yeah, they've got a 4K camera, 4K HD camera, but they're still using an app on their phone and walking around this haunted building. They haven't got a clue what's going on. They haven't got a clue of the energies that are in there.
Yeah.
Straight onto YouTube, 70, 80,000 views.
It's mad, isn't it?
Rocking out merch, and that is not. Yeah, okay, fair play to them, but that's not what it should be about. It should definitely not be about that. But yeah, they do a good job of documenting the premises they're at. But paranormal, don't call it paranormal. Call it a walk in the dark or something.
Yeah,
that's about right. Yeah. You've got to know the history, haven't you? You've got to know everything. You can't just.
Yeah, oh God, history. I'm a history buff, well, haunted history buff for sure. Well,
Yeah.
I've spent. So I said to in the chat room earlier, you know, the ancient ramming tomorrow. I'm lucky enough to get to host an evening there, officially for Caroline Humphreys, the owner, and I mean the history at that place. I've spent all day reading about it. You know, mid 12th century, Masonic Masons that built the church around the corner lived there. You've had bishops lived there. Had sacrificed children with sacrificial daggers buried in the foundations of the building. You've got
nothing's changed there then, has it?
You've got hangings in the attic. You've got summoned demonic or lower vibrational, negative vibrational energies. There, sexual energies apparently. So incubus, succubus. So both origins. You have so much going on there, and I mean, John Humphreys, the owner from 1968, who bought it from when it was a bar and lived there on his own all those years with all that going on. He used to go to sleep with a Bible in his lap. He would not sleep. He would not sleep in the bedroom. He used to have his own sleeping area, and that man, 50 years. I mean, the place itself is just an archaeological artifact. I mean, they're finding things. Caroline is open, the current owner is open to archaeological digs and history and ground penetrating radar. She's found 3 graves right outside the back door, which she believes are monks. Those are going to be excavated. The history, I mean, you can just from the doors, from the 12th century doors with the knockers on the doors and the furnishings, it just oozes pure class.
You could just keep going back there constantly and finding something new, couldn't you?
Or it is again like Craig's and Gemma's museum. It's pure evil. Again, pure evil. I think that's why I think I'll probably get selected. My team gets selected to do these places because of our history in relation to spirit rescues, etc., and the knowledge base. I mean, you couldn't put one of these said teams into these places without looking after guests who've never been on anything like that before, with not a bit of knowledge.
Oh, we're looking. I was saying to you, didn't a few weeks battling about going to the museum.
Yeah, you did.
Followed Craig with the museum for a long time. Before he had the museum.
Craig himself is a classical in relation to knowledge. I mean, I'll go to Craig in relation to lots of things. I mean, he's like me. He's always looking at new ways, new methods to communicate.
Yeah.
Because
you can always see the cogs going, can't you? I don't.
Yeah,
Personally,
we try anything.
You can see cogs.
We try absolutely anything. I mean, the other week we was trying the ferryman. You know, the ferryman tale about pay your pennies to cross the top.
Yeah, I've heard that for years. Yeah.
So we've been doing experiments based on that fable, using old Victorian pennies on the eyeball, preparing them as a dead body, and then trying to communicate. So we're all up for this playbacks, playbacks in relation to.
See, I like doing that, because if you can reenact, and dress in the way they were at the time, at whatever century it is, you're going to attract something back. You really are, absolutely.
See, going to that theme, why at theatres are lots of hauntings? Because the dramatisation, the actors are playing back traumatic scenes, perhaps, and look at, and this is a light to the spirit world, and that's why they come forward, because they can identify with what's being acted at the time. And, you look like a right divvy dressed up, perhaps acting a scene, but to them, you're a beacon of light. You're a navigation tool, and it works. Residual playback, time slip energy, like you just mentioned, works. Yeah, I'm a big believer in it.
It does work, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there are correct methods and ways to do it and do things, and it takes a bit of nous, a bit of planning, but you can do it correctly. It's like Victorian seances, they're using candlelight, using candles for divination and fire scrying. You can, these things still work. Pagans use them. They've got to work.
Yeah.
So going back to my point, how the hell have we evolved from such as this fire divination, reading from fire to a fucking teddy bear with a flashing light in its stomach? How we evolved to that?
Evolved.
Why aren't we improving in knowledge and techniques and methods and using what our ancestors left behind? There's so much. If you can just read and grab a book and not base your knowledge on what's on TikTok, we're just copying and copying. We're copying all these YouTubers and copying what they do because they've got the most likes. Don't do that. Go to your library, go to buy books and use the proper, correct knowledge, fountain of knowledge. Because you're just replicating utter shit. And no wonder people like me get in the neck day in, day out, I'm a bullshitter, blah, 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 and doing it for the money. I'm not doing it for money. I'm doing it to pass on my knowledge and give an experience to anybody who wants. That's the correct way. Each their own. Well, I'm just saying, anybody who's serious about it, please research. Please research.
Lovely.
Yes. So I'm at the ramp tomorrow. I think there's two tickets left online. I think it's nearly a sellout, but I don't sell the tickets. They're on the official Ancient Ram website, theramin.co.uk. I think they're £49 tomorrow, but you're getting a really good evening. So myself and Paul Southey are doing the team tomorrow in the evenings. We're going to be doing some of the methods we discussed. So we're going from old school divination, Victorian seances, scrying, or a modern version of scrying.
I like all that stuff. I like the old school stuff.
Yeah.
I like
definitely.
Yeah.
But some of them, I'm not knocking all equipment. Definitely not, because, as I say,
I'll play
big believer in sound frequencies, energies, frequency generation, and we do use a lot of spirit portals and finely tuned spirit portals using the white noise manipulation, and they do come through, and you do get intelligence. So we're doing some of that as well, and it's going to be a really, really interesting night. I hope that we can bring the place some justice. You know, we're not going to be walking around with K2 meters and, you know, in
Yeah.
the dark. We will get public interaction. It's not our night. We'll just guide and protect. They will experience. So, yeah, if anyone fancies it, just go on the ramming and book any tickets, and we should be there.
Well, it's going to be a good night, everybody, I'm sure, because
Yeah.
this guy knows what he's doing and he knows what he's on about, and he'll keep you safe. He'll keep you safe.
We'll certainly be looking, won't we, Lynn?
Yeah. Well, not tomorrow night. I've got my 50th anniversary going on tomorrow.
Oh, congratulations. Well done. Yeah, so
Not
live.
I've got the usual work. I can't go bloody nowhere.
We're going to do a live around 3 a.m. when all the guests are gone. So me and Paul will be in the Bishop's.
All right. Right, we'll have a look at that.
So keep it on our page live. About 3 o'clock in the morning, we're going to put some witch bells over the door.
All right. Yeah.
See if we can get an interaction or a rap at the door or something. So, yeah.
Well, I've been waking up about 2:30 at bloody night just recently. Anyway, so it'll be in good time.
We'll be in our pajamas.
Yeah, it doesn't matter as long as you do it, isn't it? That's it. Get out there and do it.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Definitely.
So before you go, what's your favourite location that you've ever done, Russ?
I get asked that absolutely quite a lot, but close to my heart, I have to say, from all the memories and the areas I've spent there, it's Smethwick Baths in the West Midlands and close to Birmingham. And it's been knocked down as we speak now. Smethwick Baths was a 1935 Art Deco swimming pool with a subterranean maze of tunnels underneath the pool.
Oh, wonderful.
And he had at least 12 resident spirits there, including a negative entity. It was an amazing place, and everybody who's been there is going to miss it. But yeah, local to me, that place will always play. You know, I made so many friends from there, close friends from spending all my time down there, and yeah, it's going to be heavily missed. So that will always, until I die, be in my soul, and I will miss the place. So yeah, Smethwick Baths. If lots of footage there online on YouTube if you want to experience it. But, yeah, the craze down there, bare knuckle boxing. It was a military RAF base for the American pilots, and lots of sad stories there.
Yeah,
I mean, to the day it shut, it had a lot of Art Deco furnishings in the building. I mean,
it's a shame, really, isn't it? It's a shame.
Yeah, museum on its own right, but no. Again, our local council have to knock it down and probably building a mosque or something. I know, offence on there, anybody watching, but totally something that's as our government's doing at the minute, just killing all our culture and our history based on this woke era that we live in. And again, something else that calls my piss. Why should we be a victim of what our ancestors done? You know, slave trade.
I wasn't
slave trade still happens now. We are
it's
slaves.
Still going. It's still going. There's no difference.
Yeah. So why is that our fault? So why should they knock down our historical buildings?
You know the best of it. It's not even the ordinary people's fault. It's them with money. They did it. Them with the money did it. It went off.
Yeah. And let's face it, half these people, they've been affected by all discrimination. If you ask them, they don't care. They want us to have our history and our culture. They ain't bothered. They don't care. It's our governments and our councils, the ones that think they have to be super woke. And, we must do that before it upsets one person. Totally. You know, and it really, I mean, there's a huge battle going on to protect our culture and our heritage at the minute.
Oh, there is. Yeah.
It's eroding daily. I mean, just look at the whole old boozers and pubs being shut down and knocked down.
What a shame. What a shame, honestly.
I mean, some of the, going histories there, the stories there, they're immense.
Gathering places where people talk to each other. You know,
I hate the government. I hate councils. And I mean, it needs a change. And
you're like me. I don't.
I detest them. And yeah, the country needs organising and it needs rules for sure. But these people that are doing it now are that demented. And it's the education system. The education system is to blame. The education system is that people that are teaching a set of guidelines for children to be educated in this hoity-toity Nancy woke world, and we are creating lazy children. We had it hard. We had it so difficult. I mean, I'm an 80s child, but I had nothing, I had nothing back then. So post-war Britain created hard people in good times. Now we're creating lazy people and self-wanted people, and this is going to be our downfall because it's going to create bad times. And we're on the precipice of war. We're on the precipice of end times.
Absolutely.
And this is because all the bureaucrats or all this woke brigade that haven't got a clue about peace. They just want to make numbers and money and tick boxes.
Yeah, well, they're subservient, aren't they, to their masters?
So something big come in, and me and my friends in the field and my psychic friends know that something big coming. COVID.
It's been like this for a while, and something shifted.
Yeah, everyone knows that. There is something. You can feel it. You can feel it.
Yeah,
everybody can feel it. Anybody can sense it. You look at everybody now. Full moons now affect a lot of people. Whereas before you think, but full moons seem to be more frequent and more powerful, and they're affecting us more and more. Because as you say, because of the energy shift, there's something bad happening in the next 2 years. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. The COVID and the COVID manipulation of keeping us under control and locked away.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not saying to all these poor buggers who passed and perished, but there is something far more sinister at hand. And going back to what we hit on the 1%.
You're on the same lines as me. That's why it's like with
New World Order, Illuminati, whatever you want to call them. You know, the paedophiles who are running this place. Lurching on children. It's another show. That's
another show. I think we've.
You have to look at another dimension, and because they're opening their conspiracy channel thing up again.
Yeah, so Ben's like me, he knows his conspiracies inside out. So that's Ben's one of the ones I rub off on in relation to conspiracies. And it's not coincidence that people like me and Ben, who, I've only known Ben a couple of years, but I've been doing that for years and years, and Ben has as well. It's weird how people with our knowledge seem to wander into that area.
Yeah.
Because it affects you now, it affects you in the real world.
Of course it does.
And I mean, I won't go into simulation theory on this show or any time, but in relation to quantum computing and quantum mechanics, they are changing reality. Computers and AI are that powerful now.
That's scary.
Reality.
Yeah, just scary.
Let's look at the Mandela effect. If you ever research that, it's true. They can change.
The whole lot. This whole lot reminds me of the Terminator coming to truth.
Skynet.
It's coming.
So, one of my, shoot me down, as I say, poor people who died of COVID. COVID was real, or whatever the symptoms, whatever, they all died of, bless them, and a lot of people. But what they injected with us, what they've injected us 3 or 4 times with, in my opinion, was nanotechnology, because it was readily available the next week or 2. You can't tell me something like that. They can't cure cancer. They can't cure things that actually, for years and years and funded. But this COVID jab was virtually readily available. So you can't tell me that weren't pre-planned.
Russ, they made it in 1960. In 1965, I know all about this. In 1965, they done tests on animals, and they all died. They had it ready available in 1990.
It was patched.
They'd already been testing human beings then. They knew it wouldn't work. So for them to say it was a new technology, it's all about controlling. It's about sending people in that direction. Yeah.
Are you subservient to take an injection that your government want you to take?
No.
That's what it was. But I also believe, seriously, because at the same time of this going on, 5G, 6G, all these Gs were coming out, and AI was getting stronger and stronger. And I believe that nanotechnology is implanted in these chaps, and this 5G signal can control us and turn us on and off when they want to. And I really do believe this is something to do with this 2-year cycle that's going on. Don't know, but I do believe what they've injected us with is going to, we all have to be, I have to be subservient in the end because I like to go abroad, for holiday. But
I didn't. I wouldn't. I didn't care. I didn't.
Yeah.
Didn't.
You still went anyway.
Do it. Even told him at work. Even told him at work they were going on about. I said, I'm telling you now. Yeah. I'm not going to go yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. I'm telling you no. That's it. If you want to get rid of me, I'm not having it.
Yeah. And us being sensitive, I know something's changed in my DNA from taking. I'm not the same person I was before, mentally and energy-wise. I just feel something in my soul and my essence in my gut, and my gut's related to my brain. I can feel something different from taking it physically. And I just really believe that it's part one of a big plan, definitely. So watch this space in the next few years. It's all... We only got to look at what Nostradamus says with his cult trains in relation to this, how it works. And I hope to God there isn't, but I just really don't hope it escalates with Russia and the Third World War.
I don't want that.
But the powers that be, that the 1% want full control of the planet, and if certain people are going against the grain, you're going to end up either in a containment camp. The new Jews.
Camp, here we come.
That way, because people are watching the TV and believe in the sheep people.
Yeah, I don't watch mainstream TV.
Don't watch it. That is the most brainwashed. You're paying £160 a year to BBC to brainwash you and to control you while they're fiddling with children. So
no, I won't pay. I mean. But this fella recently to pay that lad £35,000.
It makes me laugh how, I'm not a Donald Trump supporter by any means, but he had a fair point that how come whenever he says anything, it's fake news, but yet the far left, or whatever you want to call it, whenever the media pipe up, it's true news, and then everybody else is fake. How does that work? And then they start blaming what the scientists say. But the scientists are employed by the media to give them the answers they want. So it's just, this is the indoctrination and
been watching a lot of that in America with Fauci and what have you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The truth will be out. The truth will be out. So anyway, you're going to the Ram Inn tomorrow.
Yeah, check out Wednesbury Paranormal on Facebook. We're not huge on websites and anything like that, but we are huge on his heart and charm and knowledge. And brilliant. I swear to you, you're cheap for a night out. Family entertainment, probably not the correct word, I would say, for to understand more about the spiritual realm. Come on a Wednesbury Paranormal night. Please share to your friends. Wednesbury Paranormal on Facebook. We are a poverty, scrubby, trampy team, whatever you want to call us, because we're not in it for the money, we're in it for the heart, we're in it for the network, we're in it for the friendships and the family and the community.
That's brilliant.
And if I can learn things off people like you guys, and I absorb things like a sponge in relation to paranormal, and I hope that my mental rantings have resonated with you guys as well.
Well, it's been a lovely chat and it's been very interesting. I've loved listening to you. You've got me gripped, dear, and it's been amazing. So it'd be, I think we're going to be ending this now. Are we, Annette?
Yeah, definitely.
And, I think we'll definitely come down. I think if you can commit at some point, Annette, and we'll see what's going on with my weekends off, and we'll try and come down.
Yeah.
And come to one evening.
the museum you need to do for sure.
Yeah, you want to do that, don't you, Annette? We'll go to
Even
them.
I have to go there. I have to go there.
Even if it's just for a tour of the property with Craig.
I want to go and, the main thing I want to go and see, and I've always wanted to go and see, is that poltergeist mirror.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that mirror is freaky. There's some story in the mirror.
That mirror has fascinated me since day one.
Yeah, it has got a strange energy to it, definitely.
Yeah.
Whenever I have guests there, I implore them to take photographs in that mirror, because some
I'd absolutely love to scan that mirror. I would.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just one of the main items in the museum. Definitely.
Every time I've watched it, it's gone like that. Come and see me.
So we'll have to have you back on here, Russ.
The thing is with that mirror, you've got that mirror and you've got a mirror opposite. It's equally as attached or essence of it. And they come together and form a portal, because mirrors facing each other. If you've got mirrors in your bedroom facing each other, or anybody watching tonight, take one away, because it creates a portal. So if you're getting activity in your bedroom, you look for two mirrors facing each other, because it creates this portal, in my opinion, anyway. All right, no, thank you for having me on, and I like chatting to anybody.
It's been great. It's been a great night. Thanks for coming on.
It's been a pleasure, been a pleasure. We'll have you back on. We'll talk about all the things.
All right. Take care.
Thank you very much, and thank you everybody that's been on and listened to us tonight. Thank you very much.
It's been it's been really good, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Yeah. Lovely. Oh, look, you got a little banner on the top.
I'm learning.
You are, aren't you, love? Oh, thank you, everybody. No, it's been really interesting.
So we'll say good night.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. We'll let you know when we're on again. And when we're working.
All right.
Goodbye for now.
Bye bye.
Just watching you.